The next property, it says product of perfect squares is always a perfect square. Meaning if you are taking two perfect squares and if you are multiplying them, product means you are multiplying them. Take any two examples. Suppose I am taking 36 and 225. Okay, so 36 multiplied by 225. I know 36 is square of 6, whereas 225 is square of 15. So these are the two numbers which are the perfect square, and I am taking their multiplication. So whatever answer I am getting, that will also be a perfect square. Now why is it so? 36 can be written as 6 into 6. Similarly, 225 can be written as 15 into 15. So there are pairs. What if I club these two numbers together? So what if I write 16 into 15 square? It means same. 15 is 2 times and 6 is 2 times by your laws of exponent. So 15 6 is what? 90. So the multiplication of these two numbers will be square of 90. Okay, so square of 90 means if you multiply them, you will definitely get the answer as 8100. Okay, so the multiplication is 8100 and 8100 is also a perfect square. Now why is this happening? Because you are taking two perfect square which are square of two numbers, and if you multiply those numbers, if you club them together, so definitely you will be getting a number which is again a square. Okay, so that becomes your next property. Square product of perfect square is always a perfect square. The next property says if in a number there are odd number of zeros, there are odd number of zeros, then that cannot be a perfect square. Meaning 10,000. 10,000 is square of which number? Just now we have checked, it is square of 100. How many zeros is 10,000 having? 10,000 is having 4 number of zeros. What if I write it now, instead of 10,000 I make it 1 lakh? Now 1 lakh is square of which number? 1 lakh is not a square of any number. Now why is it so? Because how many zeros is 1 lakh having? 1 lakh is having 5 zeros, and 5 is an odd number, which tells us if in a number there are odd number of zeros, then that number cannot be a perfect square. Now why is this happening? Because whenever you are taking square, for each one zero you are taking its double in its square. So here there are two zeros, so its double will be four zeros. Similarly, if in a number there are three zeros, its double would be six zeros. If in a number there are one zero, its double will be two zeros. So nowhere you are getting the number of zeros as odd. Always you will be multiplying it with 2, and that many number of zeros will be present in the square of the number. And since it is multiplying by 2, means definitely that will be having even number of zeros, and hence the property, if there are odd number of zeros in any given number, that number cannot be a perfect square. So that is what the property tells us. The next one is any number or any square number can be represented as sum of odd numbers. Okay, now first I will explain it with the example. Now square of 1, what it is? 1. Square of 2, it is 4, which could be written as 1 plus 3. Square of 3 is, let me write it here itself, 4. Square of 3 is 9, which can be written as 1 plus 3 plus 5. Square of 4 is 16, which could be written as 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. Similarly, square of 5, 25, 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7 plus 9. So as you can see, all these square numbers I have written in terms of their sum of odd numbers. Now 135, 1357, 13579, they are all odd numbers. and if you take their sum, you will be getting the square of that respective number. But then how do I know that which odd numbers I have to take the square? Now here I have taken square of 1, so I have considered only first odd number. Here I am taking square of 2, so I am considering the first two odd numbers. Here it is 2, so first two. So the first two odd numbers are 1 and 3. Here I want square of 3, so first three odd numbers 1, 3, 5. Square of 4, first four odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7. Square of 5, first five odd numbers. Similarly, if I have to find square of n, so it will be sum of how many odd numbers? First n odd numbers. Whatever is the number, that many odd numbers starting from 1 you have to take. Since I want square of 5, so first 5 starting with 1. Suppose I have to find the square of 17. So what it would be? It would be sum of first 17 odd numbers. So first 17 starting from 1, 3, 5, 7. So whatever are the first 17 odd numbers, that many odd numbers you will be taking. So this way also you can directly find the square of the numbers, and that becomes your next property, that the square of any number can be represented or can be expressed as sum of odd numbers. Now which odd numbers? Whichever number square you are taking, that many first odd numbers you are taking. First odd numbers means you have to start from 1. You cannot randomly select any odd numbers. If I have to find the square of 10, so I will be considering first 10 odd numbers starting with 1, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9 until till you get 10 first odd numbers. You will be writing those digits accordingly. Next property, it is relating to difference of the consecutive squares. Okay, so what will be the difference of consecutive square? Now consecutive means, suppose I am taking one number as n, so its square would be n square, and what will be its consecutive number? It will be n plus 1 and its square. Okay, so I have to find a relation between what is the difference between the consecutive numbers. So let us write it accordingly. So difference of consecutive numbers is n plus 1 square minus n square. So what this could be written as? Yes, can anybody tell me? You know the identity. Yes, so let us expand. So it will be n square plus 2n plus 1 minus n square. So n square get cancelled. So 2n plus 1. So what can I say? That the difference of consecutive squares, we are dealing with the squares. So the difference of consecutive square is equal to twice of the lower number. What was my n? N was my lower number, because the next number I have taken it as n plus 1, so that will be the larger number. So it will be twice of the lower number plus 1. Okay, so how is it that we have just solved it and checked? Now let us see with the help of one example. Suppose I have to find the difference of 15 square and 16 square. Are they consecutive numbers? Yes, 15 and 16 and their square. So I have to find what is the difference between 16 square minus 15 square. So instead of writing what is square of 16, then writing square of 15 and then subtracting, I can directly say the square difference of the consecutive square is equal to 2 times of smaller number. Now which is the smaller number? It is 15 plus 1. So 15 2s are 30 plus 1 is 31. Let us check. Square of 16 is 256, 225. If you subtract, you are getting the same answer. That is 31 and 31. So even though I don't know what were the squares of the number, but still I could have found out, because these are the smaller numbers. But what if there are two bigger numbers? For example, suppose they are 261 and 265. Sorry, 260, only 260. So if I have to find the difference of this consecutive square of the numbers, now I don't know the square of 261, neither I know the square of 260, but by this formula I can directly find out what is it. It is 2 times of the smaller number. The smaller number is 260 plus 1, so which is equal to 520 plus 1, that is 521. So even though by not finding the squares, still I could tell what is their difference values. Okay, so this is the next property. The difference of two consecutive squares is equal to 2 times of smaller number plus 1. 2 times of smaller number plus 1. Now, by this property itself, we are going to derive the next property, or we are going to express the next property. So, between two perfect square, how many non-perfect squares are present? Between two perfect square, how many non-perfect squares are present? Okay. Now, if I consider 2 and 3, square of 2 is 4 and square of 3 is 9. So how many numbers? 5, 6, 7, 8. So there are 4 numbers which are non-perfect square, isn't it? Between two consecutive, I am talking about the two consecutive numbers. Okay, so just now we have found out the difference of two numbers is equal to 2n plus 1. So from this itself, can I derive this, the property relating to how many non-perfect squares are there? Whenever I have to find the non-perfect square, so what I could have done here, 2 square is 4, 3 square is 9. So whatever are the numbers present between 9 and 4, that will be non-perfect square. So how many digits are there? So if I subtract 9 minus 4, what do I get? 5. But here there are actually how many digits? 4. Now if there are 4 digits, how am I getting 5? Because when you are subtracting 4, the lowest extreme you have subtracted, but did you subtract 9 also? I want the non-perfect square between 4 and 9. Between, it means I have to exclude the extreme values. So 4 and 9 both have to be excluded. So when you are subtracting 4, 4 is excluded, but 9 is not excluded, and hence whatever is the answer, from that also you have to subtract 1. So here in this case, when you are subtracting 4, the lower extreme is getting subtracted, but the upper extreme, that is 9, that was not getting subtracted, and hence we are getting the answer which is having one more value. So for that, what we are going to do, we have to subtract the upper extreme also. So to find the non-perfect square between these two numbers, it will be 5 minus 1, which is nothing but 4. So what am I doing it here? I was subtracting the square of two consecutive numbers. Here itself we have found that the subtraction or the difference of squares of two consecutive numbers, which is equal to what? 2n plus 1. It means whatever is the value or whatever are the digits present between these two numbers, they will all be equal to this 2n plus 1. But as we have seen here, the upper extreme was not getting subtracted, and hence for that I have to subtract this 1 also, and which will give me that the number of non-perfect squares between any two consecutive numbers are equal to just 2 times n, where n is your smaller number. The same concept which we have applied it here, n is your smaller and n plus 1 is your greater. Now here we have already found what is the value of difference of two consecutive numbers. So definitely all the numbers between the two consecutive numbers, they will not be a perfect square, because you are considering two consecutive numbers. So how all of them will be non-perfect square, but when you're making a calculating the difference out here, you were not considering or you were not excluding the extreme value, that is n plus 1, and hence I have to subtract minus 1, and therefore the number of non-perfect square will only be 2 times n. Now let us check with one more example. Suppose I am considering 19 and 18. So square of 19 and square of 18. Now square of 19 is 361, square of 18 is 324. If you subtract, what do you get? 7, 3. So what is the answer? 37. So there are 37 numbers in the difference of 19 and 18. But since I have not excluded 19, so if I have to find number of non-perfect square, what I will do, I will again subtract 1 from this 37. So it will be 37 minus 1, which is equal to 36. So there are 36 non-perfect squares between 18 square and 19 square. Now let us check with our with our formula also. So what I want, the number of non-perfect square between what? Between 18 and 19. So it will be 2 times of n, 2 times of smaller number. So in 18 and 19, which is the smaller number? 18 is the smaller number. So what is the answer? 36. So as you can see, in both the cases you are getting the same result. Okay, so between any two consecutive squares, the number of non-perfect squares is equal to 2 times of smaller number. And if you have to find just the difference between any two consecutive squares, it will be 2 times of smaller number plus 1. Sirf only difference, it will be 2n plus 1. If you have to calculate the non-perfect square, so the condition is you have to exclude the upper value also, and hence whatever you are getting from that you will be subtracting 1, hence you are left with only 2 times of smaller number. So this is 2n, and here it will be 2n plus 1. For difference, 2n plus 1. For finding non-perfect square, it is just 2 times of n. Moving further, if m is a perfect square, 2m is not a perfect square. It means if you are taking twice of the perfect square, is it necessary that it will be a perfect square? Yes, if I am considering m is such a number which is a perfect square. So will 2m be a perfect square? Definitely not. Yes, it will not be a perfect square. You can check, because you are adding only one factor to it. When we will be looking at the prime factorization method of finding the square, that time you will understand all the factors has to be present in pairs. So then only the given number will be the perfect square. So here let us consider one example, 36, which is square of 6. So it will be 6 into 6. If I multiply 2 to it, so it will be 2 into 36. So how do I write it? It will be 2 into 6 into 6. Now will it be a perfect square? As you can see, 6 is in pair. But what about 2? 2 is not having its pair. So definitely it will not be a perfect square. So that is what the property says. If m is a perfect square, 2m will not be a perfect square. Okay. The next property, it says any perfect square m, if divided by 3, you will get the remainder as 0 or 1. Any perfect square. So you can consider any value from this. Let us consider 256, which is square of 16. If you divide it by 3, you have to get the remainder as 0 or 1. So what do I get? 3 8s are 24, 3 5s are 15. So the remainder is 1. Okay. Any other number? Suppose 225. Again divided by 3. 3 7s are 21 and 3 5s are 15. Now here I am getting the remainder as 0. So I have considered only 2 examples. You can consider any n number of examples, and hence I can say any number which is a perfect square, if you are dividing it with 3, you will be getting the remainder as 0 or 1, which means that m can be represented as, it will be either multiple of 3, or either it will be having one more value or plus 1 to its multiple. So it will be 3n or 3n plus 1. If it is 3n, it means it is a multiple of 3, so definitely you will be getting the remainder as 0. And if it is equal to 3n plus 1, it means that you will be getting a remainder as 1. By the same property, it is applicable for 4 also. If any number which is a perfect square is divided by 4, you will be getting the remainder as either 0 or 1. The same concept. If you are dividing it with 4, you will be getting the remainder as 0 and 1. So how can I write? M is equal to 4n or 4n plus 1. When it is 4n, it means the given perfect square is multiple of 4, and when it is 4n plus 1, it means the given perfect square will leave the remainder as 1 if it is divided by 4. So these are the two properties with respect to the division with 3 and 4. This will be helpful for you to decide whether the given number is a square or not. Now the next one is an odd perfect square. Any odd perfect square can be represented as sum of consecutive numbers. Any odd perfect square can be written as, so you are considering any odd perfect square, and it can be represented as sum of consecutive natural numbers. Okay, so let us check with the help of an example. Odd perfect square means you have to take the square which is a odd. Let us consider say 15. So 15. What is square of 15? 225. Okay, so any odd perfect square. So now this is odd perfect square. Odd perfect square. This can be represented as sum of consecutive natural numbers. So this I can write it as sum of two consecutive numbers. Now what are those two consecutive numbers that we have to find? Now how do we find it? Let us consider the odd perfect square, or n is an odd number, so its square, n square, it will also be an odd number. Okay, so if n square is odd, then the number next to n square and the number previous to n square will be an even number, yes or no? So the number next to n square will be n square plus 1, and the number previous to n square will be n square minus 1. So these two are even numbers, yes. So if I divide it by 2 and if I add them, what do we get? Let us check. N square plus 1 by 2, n square minus 1. Now the denominators are same, so I can directly add the numerators. So 1 1 cancel, divided by 2, which gives me 2n square by 2, again 2 2 cancel, which is equal to n square, so which is nothing but our value. Okay, so what does it mean? I can write this n square as n square plus 1 by 2 plus n square minus 1 by 2. Now you know these two are the consecutive numbers, these two are the values of the consecutive numbers. So exactly which two numbers I have to consider depends upon, you have to find the values of these two numbers. So now in this case my n square is what? 225. So 225 plus 1, which is equal to 226 divided by 2, and here it will be 225 minus 1, that is 224 divided by 2. Now what is 226 divided by 2? It is 113, whereas this is 112. Now are these two consecutive numbers? Yes, 113 and 112. Yes, they are, isn't it? So what does it mean? That any perfect square, now what kind of perfect square? It should be an odd perfect square. So any odd perfect square, you could represent it as the sum of consecutive natural numbers. So any odd perfect square can be represented as the sum of two consecutive natural numbers. Now which two natural numbers you have to take, that you will be finding by this formula. That is n square minus 1 by 2 plus n square plus 1 by 2. So usually you write the lower number on the first place. So if I have to write it in formula, I can directly write, because the simplification part we have seen. So directly I can say n square can be written as n square minus 1 by 2, whatever its value, plus n square plus 1 by 2. And definitely these two will be the consecutive numbers. So if, for example, here I have considered 15, let us consider the next example, any other, 19. So what is my 19? Is it an odd perfect square? Yes. So 361 can be represented as again the sum of consecutive natural numbers. Now which two consecutive natural numbers I have to take? It will be n square minus 1 by 2 and n square plus 1 by 2. Now what is my value of n square? N square is nothing but your 19 square, which is 361. So 361 minus 1 by 2, which is equal to 360 by 2, plus 361 plus 1 by 2, that is 362 by 2. And if you divide, you will be getting 2 ones are 280 plus 2 ones are 281. So it can be written as 361 can be written as sum of 180 plus 181. So this way you can represent any odd perfect square as the sum of two consecutive natural